Well, that is Taylor Swift on Pure West Radio for Monday evening on DAB digital radio across Pembrokeshire. It's the Pure West Sports Show with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors, and you can watch along on social media as well. Let's continue our build-up to the Pembrokeshire Senior Cup final. Gord, what did you make of the Moncton manager? Twino was pretty positive, but what I kind of got from him...
Yeah, to be fair, Stuart's been around a long time. He knows what it, he's won it as a player as well. So they're going to make things a little bit more difficult than what they did in the last time they played Goodwick. I think it's going to be a very good cup final.
Fraser also, you got the sense of occasion from him, didn't you, as well? Yeah. Really respecting the day and what the match is about. And with so many players that have come through the ranks at Moncton, you can feel what it means for that club to be there.
Yeah, look, I first knew Stu 25 years ago, actually playing the same Haverford 19s team. No 5G pitches about on the meadow those days, but he's been in around Pembrokeshire football from that time onwards, the senior scene. So he'll understand the occasion. He's played in it, he's managed in it, like he said before, and he very much sensed the excitement too. But I was pleased to hear, what he talked about the build-up and the day itself, just keeping it grounded. I think that's a positive sign. But he'll know what it means, that's for sure.
Okay, let's get into the Goodwick camp, shall we? We are going to talk now to former chairman and club stalwart Brian Morris, who is joining us to preview it from the Goodwick side of things. It's going to be a big occasion for both clubs. Brian, evening to you. How are you? Can you hear us, Brian? Oh, I'm not sure. Brian is on the screen. And let's just see whether he can hear us now. Can you get us, Brian? I think he is struggling to hear us. Yeah. We'll get back to Brian in just a sec. Maybe if he can just come in and out, he'll be able to talk to us. Let's just get Gordon and Fraser just to fill in for a sec, though, because for Goodwick, they are obviously very familiar with being in a Pembrokeshire Senior Cup final, aren't they? And actually, Gordon, they'll be determined to kind of put things right, because last time they were in a final, they were beaten by Clarbeston Road, weren't they?
Yeah, they were beaten on the day. They were very disappointed that they didn't perform, but we couldn't take anything away from Clarbeston Road on that particular day. They were the underdogs, and they dug in and they got the result. But, Goodwick will still be hurting from that actual result, no doubt. And they are a very competitive side, Goodwick. They've been in a lot of title runs and cup finals over the years. And a lot of their players have been through those games as well. So they have a lot of experience. And yes, they could well bounce back on Saturday to claim the victory. But it's going to be interesting, to say the least. And their build-up will be as normal as well. Nigel's very grounded. The players know what they're expected to do on the day, and I'm sure they will give it their 100%.
Okay, Brian is back on the screen. Brian, can you hear us now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
You can. Excellent stuff. Loud and clear. Gordon just making the point there, and I asked him the question, what it means for Goodwick to be back in a Senior Cup final. You've seen plenty over the years. Is there a feeling that this year you want to put it right after losing last time against Clarbeston Road, or does that not even come into it for you?
Hello, are you there?
We're here. Can you hear me?
I lost you again, sorry.
I think we are having some sound issues this evening, unfortunately. Brian's gone again. Let's see whether we can get Fraser back. Can you hear us, Fraser?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. I think we've lost Brian, unfortunately. We do seem to be having some sound issues. Let's just carry on the discussion from that Goodwick side, though. Fraser, they'll know it's going to be a tough game against Moncton, but do you think their experience of being in so many finals will help them out?
Yeah, of course it will do. Oh, there we are. Of course it will do. Yeah. And I think, look, it's a Goodwick side that is used to winning trophies as well. So that'll be their first determination to keep that run going. It's been, it was a cup double 3 years ago. It's been a league title 3 years in a row. This side, almost a new era, so to speak, or certainly a new start after Chris O'Sullivan stepped down, a new coaching time. I know Nigel Delaney was there anyway, but he moved up. But in came Matt Fox and then Nell Kinsler as well. And this group of players won't want to be seen that they've had any kind of drop-off in winning trophies as well. That's natural. When you're in that run, you want to keep it going. So they've had 3 successive seasons with silverware. want to go. They don't want to go down as a team who broke that run either, do they? So there's extra motivation for them for this final, sure, to win trophy 4 years in a row.
Yeah, Brian, I think you're back with us. Can you hear us better now?
Yeah.
How are you feeling as you build up to Saturday? We've said Goodwick no strangers to a Senior Cup final, but is it still a special occasion for this group of players to be there at the weekend?
Oh yes, and we had big changes at the end of last season. We had the 3-year run where we won the league, and other things before that. It could have been 4 or 5. But we had new players came in. It took a while for them to settle, and in fairness, by that time we were out of the league championship run, because this day and age, as Hakin have proved, and congratulations to them, they only lost 1 game in the season. And the way the Premiership League has gone the last, say, 5-6 years, you can't afford to lose any more than that. And it took a while for us to get settled, but and for the new players to sort of get used to what is expected of them. I mean, if you put the Goodwick shirt on, the standards are high and the expectations are very high. And I think on Saturday, well, the semi-final was very, very good. I thought we handled that excellently, and we played some very good football. And like the boys have said, we are in a very experienced side. We've got players who won the treble back in 2015-16. They know how to win things. And hopefully that will count on Saturday.
You bring Gordon in.
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I go back a long way, Brian. I think we played against each other back in the 80s, no doubt. And I can remember the Goodwick sides of old. They were solid teams who played some really good football. And I think we may have played in a final together. I'm not sure if you played in 87.
I missed that final. I'd broken my foot.
Oh, okay. That's why they lost.
You beat us after 2 replays.
It was incredible. Well, it wouldn't happen today, as you know, right? We played 3 games in a week.
That's right.
We couldn't be separated after 2. The second one down in Marble Hall, if my memory serves me right, it was stopped at full time because of fog. We couldn't have extra time, and it was still level. So we went back on the Saturday, and it was a ding-dong affair. It was a cracking game, and we just edged it 3-2. Middlesbridge, I was playing for them. But Goodwick have always produced good cup sides. And I remember, Brian, I don't think you may have retired. I was playing for Prendergast Villa in about 94, and there was a certain, I think it was either right back or left back. We were leading 3-1.
They took me off. They took me off.
They took you off, mate. And it was Mark Delaney who actually undone us. He played outstanding, running down the wing and a couple of crosses, and it was 3-3. And we went back to Prendergast Villa.
He stuffed you there.
My memory, we got stuffed. We lost 5-2. We got lost 5. But great memories, though, Brian. That's what I want to say. It's great memories.
If I remember correctly, you brought 3 busloads up that day.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
Because we were actually
the division side then.
Yeah, we were the league champions. Yeah,
it was incredible scenes.
Happy days.
Yeah. And Brian, we've spoken a bit already this evening. It's great to hear you two reminiscing about it. The Senior Cup still has a real special place, doesn't it, on the Pembrokeshire football calendar?
Oh yes, because I think even the sides who aren't competing in it, they sort of get together and have a day out as a group. Have a couple of pints and bump into people you've played against in the season, and it's a lovely atmosphere. It really is great, Yeah,
Fraser.
Brian, again, we've talked to Monkton boss there, Stuart James, about the past result against Goodwick in that final and how one-sided it was, and maybe a wrong for them to address, certainly, or motivation for them in terms of Goodwick themselves as well from within the camp. Do you sense an extra sense of motivation? Because although we talked about those 3 cup finals, those 3 league titles in a row, as Ben touched upon, your last cup final, of course, was a disappointing experience, wasn't it? On the whole, you were
yes.
favourites against Clarkston Road. We take nothing away from Clarby on the day.
No, quite right.
But the pain of that, and of course, people like Rhys Jones, the late penalty, of course. that hurt will still be fresh in minds of those who were involved that day, won't it? Do you think that will serve as extra motivation?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you look at it, Rhys Jones, he scored 4 against Moncton.
Yeah, and hiding loads of it in 2 years, didn't he? Yeah.
And then, but to be fair, the game that we beat Moncton 5-1, I don't think that was a fair reflection of the game at the time. Anyhow, when you go back, and I've looked at it, and there's only little things that went our way on the day, and I captained Goodwick when we lost 5-1 to Moncton in 1981, and once things start going against you, it's tough. It is tough, but I think that, like the likes of Scott Delaney, Rhys Jones, Rhys Starling, yeah, they're winners. They want to win, and yeah,
I think the dog agrees with you as well.
Oh, Benji, he's been out for his walk.
Great
and
name.
The missus has just come back.
And in terms of the day itself, Brian, we asked this to Moncton as well. I'm always interested to hear about this, how teams build up on the day. But I find it varies greatly. Some don't want to make a fuss and all meet at exactly the same time as you do on any normal Saturday. Yeah. Some like it. Some like the whole meeting for breakfast, the social media photos, maybe the promoting sponsors and thanking people and so on. How are Goodwick planning to build up to it on the morning itself now, not necessarily the week?
Well, the Wednesday we train on the meadow every Wednesday anyhow.
Yeah.
So we have a normal training session. The boys will do the runs in a week, as Neil said earlier on. Yeah. They treat it as a normal week. I mean, on the Saturday morning, we're meeting in the Phoenix Centre, the committee and the players, and have a breakfast or brunch provided by Carl and Charlene from the Gourmet Hut very kindly. And then the bus will pick us up 12:30 and take us down to the meadow, and yeah, this day and age, going back to Gord, like half an hour before the game, we'd meet.
Well, we had a pint before the game.
But
hydration.
Times have changed. They
have changed, Brian. Yeah,
2 hours before the kickoff. I mean, it's ridiculous. But there we are.
Yeah. In terms of going into this game, obviously Moncton finishing second and quite a strong second in the table. Brian, how do you view it in terms of, does that make Moncton favourites, and does that suit Goodwick a little bit going into this game?
Anybody can have a favourite stack. It doesn't mean anything. Absolutely nothing. It'll be 11 against 11 or 16 against 16 now, the way it's going with the subs. But I mean, no, I don't believe there's favourites. And if you believe your favourites going into the game, that's not a good mindset, I can tell you, because it'll come back to bite you.
Right, as someone who's experienced this occasion so often, and both in modern times, like you said, as chairman or club stalwart, or in the days of jumpers for goalposts, as you and Gordon reminiscing about there. If you could pick out one Senior Cup memory, whether it be Goodwick or anything else, one Senior Cup final day memory, what sticks in your mind?
Mine, when we beat the Athletic in a replay, because I'd lost a few. We'd lost to Moncton, and that was our first final for about 26 years since we won it, and it was too much. The hype was too much. We were favourites that day, and we just went down. We were at the meadow. Contradict myself now. We were at the meadow Marble Hall, an hour and a half before kickoff. We didn't have a clue what to do. We were wondering, but by the time the kickoff came, we were half asleep, and we were battered. So when we won it then against the Athletic in a replay, that was nice. That was a nice win. But one of my favourite memories is watching Moncton against the Bridge. That was early 2000s, and that was a great advert for Premiership football. It was a beautiful day. I think Moncton all blue, the Bridge were all white, and anybody coming from outside Premiership to watch that game, it was wonderful to watch. Great game.
Excellent. Yeah. Hopefully more of the same at the weekend.
Oh, absolutely,
I think a Goodwick win, Brian, would be your 9th Senior Cup success. 9th
Senior Cup, yeah.
And you've given us a sense of the history that Goodwick have with the tournament. What do you think it would mean to this group of players? You've spoken about this season. I don't want to use the word transition, but maybe it has been a little bit, and still you've had the bar pretty high in terms of how you've done. What would it mean to this group of players, do you think, to the club?
I think it'll mean a lot, because they've they've gone through a lot this year because there was the pressure on that we hadn't lost. I think we're one league game in 60 odd games or something like that.
Yeah, great.
And it was a burden on your neck then, you know, it wasn't, you know, and it's now you can relax a bit more. That's gone. You can just get back at it now. Yeah, but I mean, it'll give something. Those boys who come in and they're saying, right, okay, this is what it's all about, and this is what we do after. Hopefully, if we win, and this we can celebrate as a club. Great, you know.
Excellent stuff. Yeah. Well, listen, Brian, I'm going to ask Gordon and Fraser to do some predictions in the final part of the show. Can I just ask you, do you want them to tip you up to win it or not?
I tell you,
we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't, Brian. It's as simple as that, mate.
Absolutely, Gordon. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, Bucky's making a fortune, boy.
Good man. Listen, Brian, from us all at Pure West Sport, enjoy the occasion on Saturday. Hopefully, it will be another really good day for Pembrokeshire football.
Hopefully, good game for Pembrokeshire football.
So good luck to Goodwick. Keep up the great work yourself as well. Thank you for being with us on the show tonight.
Thanks for the invite.
No problem at all. We are going to come back for the final part of tonight's Pure West Sport in just a few moments.